We'd lost all hope, and then...
And then you swooped in out of nowhere to save us.
He would have killed us to feed his dragon.
Indeed. Masaranus, Lethalon.
It was a team effort.
It often is. Some fights can't be won alone. Celebrate the victories as they come. They're rare enough.
And tomorrow, we'll have to deal with another archdemon.
And it will have regained its strength. Elgar'nan sacrificed his own Venatori to it, a punishment for their failures. The Venatori who escaped scurried back to Deventer. If the Venatori move again, the Shadow Dragons will hear about it first. The Veil Jumpers will fight our own battles against the gods. Any help you can offer would be appreciated.
This is Rook you're talking to. Of course she's gonna help.
I should check in with Solas.
He did kind of save our lives back there.
The Dalish prisoners escaped safely?
We got them away free and clear.
Good. Whatever my frustrations with them, it feels good to have helped my people again. Thank you for allowing me to help. Chance to infuriate Elgar'nan was a reminder of simpler times.
Of course you enjoyed that.
You said you found the Dalish frustrating. Why is that?
It is unfair to them. I lived for thousands of years, and after I imprisoned the Evanuris, I slept for thousands more. I awoke in a world that had forgotten the ancient times almost entirely. And those who tried to remember Elven history, like the Dalish, had gotten so much wrong.
Like the terrible trickster Fen'Harel who sealed away the gods?
There was truth to their stories. My rebellion had indeed disrupted the lives of those who had been comfortable. And when I created the Veil, I destroyed an empire. Their judgments were fair, if clouded. I tried to explain the truth to one clan. When I convinced them that I was truly Fen'Harel, they attacked me. After that, I hid my explanations behind the facade of having witnessed events in the Fade.
And every mage knows that what we see in the Fade might not be literally true.
Yes. The Dalish had no reason to believe me. I could only watch as they continued to worship Elgar'nan, though we may have seen the last of that tradition, at least.
You and Elgar'nan were really tearing into one another back there.
I needed to goad him to anger in order to distract him. But yes, while all of the Evanuris were monsters in their own ways, Elgar'nan was the worst. Or perhaps it is more honest to say that his were the faults I've found most objectionable. You have met him now, heard his voice hammering at the doors of your mind, and you have met me. Can you see how he and I might frustrate one another?
The way the two of you argued, they didn't feel like enemies. They felt like family.
How so?
Family knows you better than anyone, and that can be good or bad.
I had not thought of it that way. But yes, we had centuries to stoke the fires of our hatred. I saw his rise to tyranny coming, and could not stop it. And he saw me disrupt his plans for dominion time and time again.
All right. I can see how you and Elgar'nan would hate each other.
He has always been what I most feared becoming. Callous and uncaring, his arrogance unchecked. To have that much power and no one to remind him that he could be wrong.
Well, he had you.
And I suppose I had you.
You're welcome.
Last time I got his attention, he got angry enough to come after us with the blighted dragons. Hopefully this baits him into a mistake we can use against him.
Every act of resistance is a thorn in his side. He will break soon. When we first met, I saw you only as a foolishly confident child who disrupted my plans. You were an irritant. I gave you information to oppose Elganon out of necessity, but I expected you to be nothing more than a tool. Seeing you with your team, I was wrong.
Oh, well, thanks. He's trying to manipulate her, isn't he?
I appreciate you saying that. Couldn't have been easy.
The only thing worse than being wrong is realizing it, but being afraid to change. Elganon's pride is no greater than mine, but he denies any failure on his part, and I at least try to acknowledge my mistakes. Your team trusts you, and you listen to them. It is impressive and enviable. It took me centuries to build such a bond during my rebellion, and when I served the Inquisition, I tried to avoid entanglements.
Finally, let's talk about Ashley, shall we?
Except for Inquisitor Llewellyn.
I said that I resolved to do so, not that I succeeded. She is a good woman. Growing close to her was selfish of me.
Do you regret it?
I live with countless regrets. Some of them I have grown to cherish more than my victories.
That's
Thank
not
you for sharing that.
Wasn't really an answer, though.
So, what comes next? What are the gods going to do?
Talk about Ashmore.
Elganon and Gillenane are preparing the dagger they will use for their ritual to pierce the veil. Elganon's power is tied to light and darkness. He will need to perform a ritual during the next eclipse.
That gives us some time to prepare.
It is likely to be your last chance to do so. You must be ready for whatever comes, for this world and for the team that trusts you. I know that you will do everything in your power not to fail them.
Let's hope it's enough.
So now Elganon's recovered his own archdemon, and the gods only need an eclipse to complete their dagger.
We saved the Dalish, though. That's important.
But now Elganon's immortal, so long as his archdemon lives.
And we all know how hard those things are to kill.
We killed Razikale, didn't we?
After losing hundreds of wardens, and it took a centuries-old trap to do it. We don't have either of those. Not anymore.
Just when you think the tide's in your favor, it turns right back.
Okay. We always knew this was going to be hard, right? And yeah, maybe it's a little harder now. More than a little. But either we stop this, or all of Thedas falls. So we see it through. All the way. Because no one else is going to.
Nice speech, Rook. But it's hard to complete a contract if you don't know where the target is.
We found the gods before. Not without help we didn't. So we get help again. We've got allies everywhere now.
The Venatori? What? No.
I can think of a few options, but I'm open to suggestions.
Wardens have run dry. Nothing new is moving in the deep roads.
And the Veil Jumpers couldn't find any trace of Elgranon or his archdemon.
The crows may have something. The Antam are moving large quantities of supplies out of the city. Weapons, armor, gatlock. And several storehouses worth of food, what little we had left. It's enough to feed the Antam Navy for 3 months. Or all of Treviso for 6 weeks.
Given the timing, it seems unlikely to be a coincidence.
Wherever those supplies are headed, that's likely where we'll find the gods. Any more details from the crows, Lucanus?
They said the Antam have long work ahead. We have time. Also, Biago would like a meeting. At your earliest convenience. From him, that means important, but not yet urgent.
Did Viago tell you how much time we have?
Days to weeks. Nothing more precise.
Well, that's our best lead so far. Track those supplies, and we should find the gods. That said, the Venatori aren't up to anything good in Meravas.
Not to complicate things, but the Inquisitor also wants to meet Rook.
Right. With everything she's been doing in the south, we owe her an update.
I'll let her know.
Today could have gone better. But it could have gone much worse. We fought off the Venatori and rescued the Dalish. That's a win by any standard. Rest up, and be ready to go. Next time the gods appear, let's make sure it's the last.
The final push. We gotta get everybody to be heroes of the Veilguard here. Second book club meeting, now you're just rubbing it in. Balara, Nev, Harding, Emmerich, Lucanus got an invite. What? Mistress of the Scarlet Moon, chosen by Harding. Harding felt the archery scenes were very unrealistic, spent 7 minutes demonstrating that the shots described were, quote, completely impossible, broke 3 lamps. Emmerich thought protagonists made very realistic decisions, felt that the number of songs in the book was excessive. Balara, me, lost copy of the book halfway through reading it, was still able to guess the plot twist correctly. Nev commented that the book made her hungry, elaborated that it was not the blood. And Lucanus felt the book accurately conveyed the boring parts of being an assassin, did not enjoy the book. And Lucanus gets to pick the next one, of course. Just because Mira's been off solving everybody's problems doesn't mean she doesn't want to enjoy reading the books with y'all. But I guess she's just happy they're all getting along. Rook, we heard the wonderful news coming out of Arlethan. You're doing, we're told. The Venatori are still reeling from their failure, and Dorian's caught wind of some of their most recent plans. Drop by the shop when you can, Meravas. Alright, well, lots more to do, but I say we check in with the team first. See if anybody needs anything.
I'm meeting Stalgard at Isana Negat, on the mountain. Come with me?
Is there unfinished business?
No, nothing of the sort, but I could use company, if you're up for the trip.
Alright, why not?
Stalgard should be around here somewhere.
I hope he's fully recovered from being trapped in the rock.
I hope so too, but the Kalsharak dwarves are tough. I'd like to see Kalsharak. Do you think Stalgard would take me? Should I ask him? Would that be rude?
Only if you ask rudely.
They're wary of outsiders, but I could learn so much about the dwarves, about myself. Maybe once things have settled down a bit. You got it. Stalgard told me about this place. The mountain is rich with lyrium, and the dwarves built this outpost to trade with Tevinter. As long as a dwarf stayed within the fort's walls, it would be as though they hadn't left the stone. They could keep their caste name and...
Is it just me, or does it feel different now?
You're right. Something's different. Maybe it's because the expression of the Titan's pain that looked like me doesn't live here anymore.
I can't believe that made perfect sense.
I'll just move this rock out of our way. Got it.
Is this entire mountain a Titan?
It's been still for so long. I can't tell where it begins and ends. It's big, though. They all were.
I mean, again, you can see the head and the hands and, like, right? Like, no? All right.
Those rocks I can move were all parts of the Titans once. Once I knew, I couldn't forget it. Now I sense them all the time, whether they're dead or just sleeping. The story of their fall is the story of our birth. It's why we don't dream, why we're resistant to lyrium, and the reason we feel the earth in our guts.
Yep, that's why.
Right.
The desolation of Kal Sharak. In declaring us lost, he forced us to find ourselves.
No dark spot around the deep roads on the way here?
Mace Harding's shade kept them away for a time.
So they'll be back, you think?
It is hard to say.
Oh, there he
They
is.
seem different now.
Veilguard.
But there will always be patrols. You... Ah, good. We are all here. I wanted you to meet my sister, Dura. She is a steward of Kal Sharak's memories. A historian.
We have heard of your gifts. We wanted to meet you. To learn from you.
From me?
About the Titans. About our past.
You came here to meet me. To talk to me?
Hey, I'd want to meet you too if I heard all the stories.
I've learned so much, but I know there's still more to discover. I could tell you what I've learned, but maybe it's better if I show you. Hear the song of the stone. You children of Titans.
This is the eternal hymn.
The prayer and the proclamation.
Isa Tunal.
I felt it. I felt the Titans.
I opened my heart to all of you, but I could hold it only for a moment.
But there was an eternity in that moment. Thank you.
No. Thank you. Being here with you. With all of you. I finally understand. We will carry the Titans in our hearts, but it is no longer their time. It is ours.
All right, well, at least she got some closure there. And now, let's see what everybody else is up to.
Could you ever support Solas? He does want to restore the elves, after all.
And kill a bunch of people to do it. Plus, those are his elves, not elves like me. I mean, would you be happy with the Titans coming back if it meant everyone you know would die?
No, absolutely not.
Right. The world might be a little broken, but you can't just erase it to start over. Not when erasing it means destroying people.
You see the size of Elgernon's dragon?
Kind of hard to miss.
She's pretty big.
He, the archdemon Lusicon, is a he.
Male dragons don't have wings.
Elgernon used magic to make the archdemons bigger. Maybe he added wings, too.
Ugh. And he screwed with her horns. What kind of asshole does that?
The kind we kill.
I do not understand why the Varans are so obsessed with turning dead.
Undead.
Which is different from regular dead how?
The hope that one's soul can return to visit this world.
But you don't need to be dead for that. Your soul is here now.
Not forever.
Alright, well, Mira's been putting it off, but Taash said they wanted to have dinner with their moms, so... Just gonna quickly run and sell some stuff, work up the courage, and then come back for the fun.
This is where we eat.
I see. Shathann, it's good to see you again.
My child wished to show me where she now lived.
I made food. Here, Iskap. Made it myself.
And do you have powdered ginger for the table?
I'll go get some.
You are not good enough for my child.
Okay, right to it then. I don't think she's gonna like any of these answers, so...
I care about Taash, and I'm doing everything I can to show that. I don't want to be your enemy.
Then end this, before you hurt her. You will only bring her pain.
No, you're trying to protect them, but this is not the way.
Or I could make Taash happy.
It is not about happiness.
Then what is it about?
Teaching my child to survive in this world.
Taash is an adult. If you haven't finished teaching by now...
I have failed, yes. I was never taught how to be a mother. Under the Qun, children are raised by those suited to such pursuits. I trained as a scholar. I was taught to think critically, to analyze without passion, and correct mistakes. You need not tell me that I am an inadequate mother. I am aware.
Then why did you leave?
When I see my child in danger, I act.
Here's the ginger.
Thank you.
So, I'm non-binary.
What does that mean?
It means I don't feel like a man or a woman.
If you are neither a man nor a woman, then what are you?
Non-binary. I just said, and I'm going to use they instead of she from now on.
If this is because I have criticized your dress or your manners...
It isn't!
Under the Qun, the term for one whose gender does not match the one given to them at birth was a Qunathlok. Perhaps you are like that.
Why do you have to keep picking at it? Why can't you just be happy for me?
Evatash, Chakra Toebra.
So I'm supposed to struggle with who I am? Even if I don't feel like I fit, even if I feel wrong?
No, you misunderstood.
Then say it better! Why am I never enough for you?
I will go. Thank you for inviting me to your home. Panahedan.
Could have gone better. Could have gone a lot worse too, though. Shathann was at least trying to understand. But also, she is a scholar. Common has Greek and Latin roots here, so non, not, bi, too. I just wish she'd stayed to talk it through, but Shathann is not Mira's concern right now.
This is just new for her. You need some time?
No. It's okay.
Taash.
I'm not hiding anymore. How she takes it is her problem.
You sure?
Yeah. Come on. Don't let food go to waste.
Kind of surprised they're not upset. But maybe it was just freeing to get it off their chest, you know? Hey, so I was going through the codex entries and found more that I missed, including this one that seems pretty important after Taash came out to their mom, and I think it's just a great summation of some complex gender identity terms for anyone still learning. And it also relates to the shadow dragons. So Taash notes meeting shadow dragons to talk gender stuff, writing notes to work through gender crap, showing to Rook for help maybe. Oh, Mavar is pretty, Tarquin tough, both trans, both open about being trans and said I could share stuff if it helped me, quote, on my journey. I did not ask for a journey. So what trans means, why it's important to say affirming rather than changed, notes about what dysphoria means, non-binary, gender fluid, again, just really simplified in a very straightforward Taash kind of way, which I really like. And I especially like how it ends. Never too late, valid even if no words when younger, blah blah blah. Mavar saw notes and is mad. Write this down exactly. You're valid. People will say you're not enough this or too much that. Do not let it diminish you. No two journeys are alike. That's wonderful. Embrace it. Did you get all that? Okay, fine.
You don't get it. About the Qunari stuff. That's my mother's crap.
But you know so much more than you give yourself credit for.
But never as much as her.
Ah.
Don't me. She's the expert.
Of course she is. She has decades of experience. But a proper teacher never makes a student feel inadequate.
Maybe in Navarra.
Yeah, I don't think that was the point he was trying to make, but they'll get there.